Alright, well, this is Rebel Wilson 44. Do a little survival knife throwing. Real quick to go over the video. Let's get back here. Number one, you're going to get caught in a situation, possibly, that you may be in awkward situations, awkward positions. Well, you see my handy-dandy knife throwing target, which is an old dartboard, sitting up behind me. Normally, it's down in the basement. Well, today, it's a little bit different. Since there's a sunlight out, always get your goggles. I'm going to show you something else, too. These are throwing knives intended for throwing. This, in some later videos, hopefully I'll be able to get on here and show y'all. This is just normal, no, this is Mossberg. Mossberg deer gut knife. It's still a knife, and it still can be thrown. And I'll show you that here in a minute. It's all about the difference. Well, if you notice, this target set level with the throat, chest, and chin. So, long story short, let's see if I can throw some knives at the throat level. Now, throat level is about in line with the bullseye. So that's what we're going to try for, is a bullseye. See if we can do it. That was obviously not that good. Alright, now before I show you what I did and how I did it, try the skinner knife. Now this knife is weighted way different. Obviously, it's not centered. The center of this weight would probably be, yeah, about right there. About where the first finger goes. Now do not try to throw it this way. It'd be pointless at this distance. Throw it like this or like this, either which way. Now let me show you. This one you have to kind of let it rotate a little bit when you go to throw it. And I screwed up. But you'll have it, because I ain't professional with this anyway. But anyway, it's also not a throwing knife either. And I messed up again. It looks like that I'm actually throwing it, and this is why I'm doing these videos. You all can learn the same time I do. Where this knife is weighted a whole lot different, and I'm used to throwing my throwing knives, and they're weighted evenly. This one might take a little bit, so the best thing to do is, and the same thing I'm going to do, is practice with it. Well, since I'm out here making a video anyway, I'm practicing with it right now. Because this is, honestly, my first time throwing this knife, specifically. So it's new to me. Just like everything else is going to be new to you all when you go to try the things I try. Now, let's try it one more time. I think I might have this down now. I think I had to scoot back another foot just to get the rotation all the way down. There you go. Now, long story short, sometimes you may have to step back a little bit more distance just to be able to get that extra rotation onto certain knives. And when I did it right, well, there you go. Plus the added weight gives more penetration. So, well, anyway, there's these. Let me get this one out of the way. First one kind of screwed up, but anyway, there's that one, and that one. That's how that goes. Alright, I'm back again. This is Rebel Wilson 44. Now I'm going to show you all exactly how to throw the knives. It's always where your finger placement is. Number one, finger placement. What I mean by that, specifically, you have to hold the knife by the blade, like this. First finger, right here. Second finger, right around the tip, so you can have a good adjustment and good control over the spin of the tip of the knife. And I'll explain that here in a minute. When you hold it like this, yeah, I'm doing my videos. But when you hold the knife like this, specifically, like this, you're able to, when you come down on your, I don't know how you would call it, the way I say it, when you come down on your downswing, you're able to use this middle finger to either put more rotation on it or to not allow a lot of rotation on it, depending on your distance. Basically, what you're trying to do is from any distance, you want to be able to make a half rotation. That means when you leave your hand right here, you want to half rotate it. 360 degrees would be all the way back to starting one. Now, half rotation means 180 degrees. You want to land like this. So between the distance you are and the distance of your target, you want the knife to go from here to here in your target. Now, if you're farther away, you want it to go 1.5 rotations. That means it goes one rotation in the middle there, and then you want it to go the other half and into your target. We'll get into that in later videos. So, what you need to do, find you a piece of wood or an old dartboard, in my case. Hold your knives, get used to them, get used to how they're weighted. Whether you have, like in the previous video, like if you have one of these knives, like an old skinny knife, buck knife, has different type of weighted handle to it, practice with it. Whatever knife you have, practice with it. Whatever blade you have, you make your own blade, it doesn't matter. Any blade can be thrown. But you have to learn how it's weighted, how it flies, and how you need to throw it. Each blade is individually different. For example, this blade is heavy compared to this blade, which is a smaller blade. And just in comparison, just for the video purposes, it's not only smaller, it's a little bit thinner, and on top of it, it's a little bit different weighted. Because see, when you hold this one here, perfect in the center where the blade meets the handle, right? Right. This one here, the way that this one's made, it really doesn't have a specific area between the blade, which is right here, and the handle, which is right here. It's in the center, don't get me wrong, because it is a throwing knife, but it is not, you can't judge it by, oh, well, there's the blade and here's the handle, so it must be right here next to the handle or right here next to the blade. No, because even the machinist that makes these knives sometimes are off. So, whether it be this knife or this knife, doesn't matter. All you gotta do is go home. Most likely you're probably already at home right now, unless you're on YouTube on your iPhones and all those little fancy dancy little doohickeys and thingamabobs. Take your knife, throw it at a target. Try to make your half rotation at the shortest distance possible. Well, I take it back. Shortest distance possible would be like from, for example, this right here. I'm standing probably like 1.5 to 2 foot away. Take your knife, blade pointing straight at you. You're holding it by the handle, and voila. Anybody could do that. Anybody could do that. Almost a kid could possibly do that. And actually, I knew one kid that could throw a pair of scissors and stick them in the wall next to your head. Never did like it, but anyway. Now, a half rotation, you have to double your distance. 2 foot. Right here. See? No problem. 4 foot. Rotation's a little different. Alright. Now, you back up here where I originally was at 8 foot. Still get the same results. You just gotta practice. Practice makes perfect, but on top of it, practice on knife throwing is very, how would I say it? It's adjustable. You have to adjust to it in every situation. It doesn't matter what it is. So, this concludes my instructional part of the video. If anybody needs anything more specific, I'd be more than happy to add it in my next video. Just leave it in the comments below, and I will try to reply the best I can. Now my email, obviously, is rebelwilson44@gmail.com. Send me emails if you need to. If you have any challenges you want me to at least attempt to do, leave them in the comments below as well. Or you can email me at rebelwilson44@gmail.com.